Maar kon meneer gou 'n koffietjie drink?
Sorry julle, ek het ek raak nog gewoond hier aan. Ek wag net vir Annika terug te kom. Ek vra verskoning daarso vir die abruptness wat daai sessie geëindig het. Ek is nog nie 100% goed met my timing nie. Ek is op kleermannetjie stadium wat ek met een oog kan gooi op die horlosie en die ander ene. Want die PowerPoint is die PowerPoint wat jy op jou, wat ek nou vir julle op slides gegooi het, hy hardloop op sy eie klok. So wanneer die PowerPoint begin het 'n timer, en hy maak dit dan nie vir my sigbaar wat is die timer van die 40 minute Zoom sessie nie. Maar die feit van die saak is, ons is weer terug en ons gaan aan. Waar ons afgesluit het mense, en ek gaan nou weer terug na die slides toe, was gewees om te sê dat ten spyte van ons besorgdhede oor, en mens kan altyd, en ek dink in enige situasie sit jy altyd twee hoede op. Jy, as 'n student en 'n toekomstige bemarker of entrepreneur, gaan jouself in 'n posisie sit waar jy nooit moet vergeet dat voordat jy 'n besigheid het, is jy ook 'n verbruiker self. En jy moet albei van daai hoede op jou kop hê, want waar die verbruiker baie gefrustreerd raak met al hierdie ouens wat hulle bel en hulle persoonlike inligting is nie so persoonlik nie, dit is meer kom ons sê out there vir almal amper. Jy stap in 'n Pick n Pay en jy koop 2 pakke chips vir R25 en dan môre kry jy sommer 'n flippin e-pos van of 'n WhatsApp van 'n Rotties Pizza oor hulle pizza specials. So nou wonder jy waar kom die mense aan die inligting? Nou die inligting is ongelukkig daar buite, maar die voordeel weer van 'n besigheidskant af vir die besigheid, en julle gaan altyd verbruikers bly, maar julle gaan ook eendag besighede, julle eie besighede hê en werk vir besighede. In daai opsig is die feit dat die inligting so maklik beskikbaar is eintlik baie goed. Jy het nie nou nodig om soos in die ou dae te hardloop na 'n hele pages en randomly cold calls te begin maak van A na Z toe nie. Jy het 'n database, in baie gevalle ook, het jy 'n database wat alreeds gemarksegmenteer is. Hy's reeds opgedeel volgens die spesifieke markte wat jy wil teiken vir jou besigheid. En ek dink dit is waar jou groot positief inkom vir besighede. Die feit dat hulle die inligting redelik beskikbaar het. Right, kom ons gou aan ons share geweer ons skerm, ons het opgehou met waar bemarking se posisie in die hele waar sales inpas in die hele bemarkingsplan. Nou, 'n volgende belangrike ding, 'n volgende belangrike bydra wat verkope lewer tot bemarking is dat jou sales forces as a result of the amount of information they have and its current information, these databases, it's showing the using patterns and the buying patterns of consumers. It makes it very, very easy for you to, or makes it easier, because we cannot predict the future 100% correctly, but we can do sales forecasts that will be very close to reality. I think during COVID-19, almost on a daily basis, we hear about the predictions on when the virus is going to spike. These are all specific models that has been used to make forecasts to try and anticipate what will happen in future. We all know that forecasting and reality are two different things, but it's a great benefit to be able to have sort of idea what to expect in future. It doesn't have to be accurate, and it will probably never be accurate. Otherwise, I mean, you're a fortune teller. You're not a forecaster. And I think for businesses, it's extremely important because it helps you. It saves a lot of pain. It saves a lot of time. If you know that you were 4 out of 5 predictions that you've made or forecasts that you've made were actually correct. It gives you confidence that you at least have some idea of what the unknown future holds for you. The next contribution is it's generating and selecting strategies. Because salespeople are in direct contact with the customers on a daily basis. They are the people who are doing working the databases, making the calls, prospecting, using different platforms to find new clients, phoning clients to see if they're happy with the transaction, if they're already a client with you, following up, doing the customer service thing. Because you're in the sales people are in constant contact with the consumers, potential consumers, and current clients with your business. It helps a great deal to stay current with what the trends are, and as a result of that, it makes it easier for businesses to change their strategies or to identify those red flags that pop up where the potential problems might occur, and as a result of that, if a strategy is necessary to be changed or not. And obviously, it comes down to the bottom line. And the bottom line is the budget and the money. The contribution that you make, or that sales make specifically, is that it gives you more control of your budget if you have an idea of what you anticipate in future. Because the forecasts that you made are made on very realistic information and data. It means that it's very easy, or it's not very easy, it is easier for you to be more accurate with your projections. And as a result of that, any variances, the impact that has on your financial position and what you have budgeted for is obviously more realistic. Always remember whenever you are budgeting that your expenses that you budget, you always over budget, and your sales, you always under budget. In other words, if you need 100 units to be sold this month in your business, rather make it 80, because if you reach 80, you know that 80 is actually that break-even point. Remember what you said yesterday, the break-even point will revisit us at some point. It's especially when you're doing your budgeting, because if you know that you need 80 to make the sale, you're not going to tell your salespeople that we need 80 people or 80 transactions to break even, or to make a profit. You're going to tell them what the break-even number is? No, you're not. You're going to shoot beyond that. And you're going to tell them, we need 100 sales this month, although you know that 80 would be fine. Anything above 80, then obviously it's a bonus for you. And then on the other hand, if you could also save on your expenses, your budget would look quite nicely at the end of the financial year. Right. This is not something, it's something that we will, this particular illustration that we will definitely cover in consumer behavior, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but it is important to know the different stages in the buying process, and there's various reasons for that, but it's quite nice to know that, and when you go into this particular diagram in greater detail, and you can anticipate the time lapse or the time between, or how long it takes from awareness to go to comprehension, and from comprehension to go to conviction, and for conviction to become a sale. It helps you a great deal in planning your sales strategy. Again, as I said, this is something that you will find in consumer behavior, and we'll deal with it in greater detail in an entire chapter, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this particular diagram. If there's any point that you guys want to take a break, you're more than welcome to, or any contribution you want to make. Push and pull strategies, I think we addressed yesterday as well. Just to recap again, people, when to use a push strategy and when to use a pull strategy. My opinion, and I think most businesses do that, is that they use the push and pull strategy in conjunction. If we specifically look at your assignment And the question, I think it's question 6, where you're expected to recommend um, certain aspects regarding a push strategy for your product, for your software product. The push strategy is when you are trying to sell what you have in stock already, and you're trying to get that through the distribution channel as quickly as possible, because you want to get rid of what you have, because you know there's a new product that's been designed that's just around the corner. And you obviously want to clear your warehouse with old stock so you can actually start stocking up with the new stuff, because you're going to convert to your pull strategy as well. And that's why you need space in your warehouse for your new products. And that's why you're trying to get rid of all your stock through the push strategy that you have, and that's not sold. That's usually when those specials come up at the end of the month, or usually towards September, October. There's big specials on, because most companies know that the new products or the new iPhone is coming out in January. So, and that's usually when you when you find specials on your products. So I'm always very reluctant when these specials pop up, especially when it's sort of an aggressive marketing campaign. Sort of then realize, okay, right, the next one's coming out. So let's see, when does my contract expire? So maybe it's not a good idea now, because you don't want to be frustrated by just upgrading, making use of that special, getting the phone, and then 3 months later the next generation phone comes out. But anyway, I'm not into that. As long as my phone rings when it rings, and it's quiet when it's quiet, and I can get my messages and I can talk to people, I'm fine. For me, it's just sort of a tool that I use for those purposes. But I know that a lot of people use it for multi-purpose, or have multiple use for it. As a matter of fact, an article I read earlier in the year indicated that 67% of students use their phones or their iPads to access their learning resources, not textbooks, not anything else. A phone, a smart device, basically, to access their learning resources. Right. I think, let me see, I think we can probably almost wrap it up here. Sales strategies and tactics. Relationship between advertising and selling. Advertising and selling, two different things, people. Promotion and selling, we know, must be complementary. It's not something that happens in isolation. It happens concurrently, and they need to complement each other. Promotions, there's no point in running a promotion and then your customers calling and reacting on that promotion, and then the salespeople know nothing about it or don't know enough about it, because then you're also losing sales. It's almost as if, and I've experienced that a lot, that the sales staff is not properly prepared or informed of what specifically is on promotion. And the company, the brand, then looks or gets a bad reputation. Advertising is specifically to build an awareness and a reputation. That's why companies like Coca-Cola, who've been around for many, many centuries and will be for many, many more, why they still advertise. They don't have to advertise. If you have drunk a Coke before and you enjoyed it, the chances that you'll buy it again without them even advertising it is very good. If you're a happy, satisfied, loyal Coke drinker, that would be your preferred drink, and that's what you're going to buy. They are still advertising and running different campaigns. Remember the most recent one when you could actually have your name put on a bottle, and there were different names that they have on the bottles. It was a very successful one. It's a campaign that actually was launched and started in Australia by Coca-Cola, and then became global. it's to build a reputation. It's to say, guys, we are still here, don't forget about us. It's to create that awareness. I might have shared this with you before, but when I was with my previous college, we ran an advertising campaign. I was dead set against it for many, many years. And then eventually I decided, let's do the advert and let's do it on a regular basis, not just once off. Let's do it on the first Monday of every month for the whole year and see what the reaction is. The reaction was moderate, and then we decided after 3 years that we are going to stop doing the ads. I had more reaction when I pulled the ad than when we actually had the ad. People were phoning the lines, and the lines were white hot as people phoned in. Are you guys still okay? Are you still in business? I see you don't advertise anymore. So it's often that awareness and that reassurance that the ad gives the customer that the business is still okay. They just want to know that. And that's the main purpose of advertising, apart from bringing it to the attention of the customer that there's a new product available. But the more successful approach to use for that is obviously the more successful approach to use there is actually the promotion. Right, guys, I think we've reached the end of the road for another day. How's everybody doing?
100%.
Sien julle begin al gemaklik raak, ja.
Raak nou gewoon na hierdie program.
Luister eens, as ek dinge reg het, mense, dan gaan ek sal nou gou gaan kyk of alles reg is op die website of op Moodle of iets is wat nog missing is vir julle. Ek kyk net gou na my program. Ek dink ons is, as ek reg onthou, sien ek vir julle weer volgende Dinsdag, né? Vir hierdie.
Dis reg, meneer.
Ek sien julle weer Dinsdag vir 'n dubbelperiode, dink ek, en dan soos gister, en dan die volgende keer wat ons gaan gesels en nie intussen enige dramas is nie, is vir Consumer Behavior Maandag.
Yes, ja, Maandag.
Ja.
Right.
Maandag 12:20.
Mense, anker vas, hou daai, daar's 'n groot storm aan die kom, as julle die nuus gekyk het en WhatsApps gekyk het en al daai goeders, so bly maar binne van môre af, van môre middag se kant af.
Môre middag 2 uur.
Hou vas, as
Môre middag
jy met 'n motorbike te gaan ry of 'n fiets nie, daar's 90 km/h winde wat hulle voorspel en baie storms en oorstromings. So los maar die mountain biking vir Sondag of vir 'n ander naweek, maar die tipe goeders gaan nie die volgende paar dae werk nie. Right,
Meneer, mail daai span sommer by Prestige ook en sê vir hulle ek was present asseblief.
Ek gaan nou vir hulle e-pos stuur, nie net aan te dui wie was vandag teenwoordig nie, of slegs aanwesig nie, want dis wat hulle gevra het gister. Ek gaan vir hulle vra vandag sê wie was veronderstel om hier te wees en wie was teenwoordig en wie was afwesig. Dis simpel. So I'm going to give you more.
En ek het meneer die ander chat gestuur wat hulle my gechat het oor wat hier al was. Asseblief. Sjoe, meneer, lekker dag.
Well, stay in your bed.
Okay, meneer.
Weer moenie afval nie.
Dis reg, dankie.
Geniet die res van die week, sterkte geniet naweek. Ons praat weer Maandag, hoor.
Dankie, meneer.
Goed gaan julle.
Bye.
Stay safe. Thanks.